We are now at 7:25. Yes, we are. I'm calling the Town Council Community Comment to order. And we will begin with roll call. Mr. Davidoff?
Good evening, Madam Mayor. Councilor Blanks.
Present.
Mayor Cantor.
Here.
Councilor Cortez.
Here.
Councilor Fay. Councilor McGinnis.
Present.
Councilor Poland.
Here.
Councilor Walters.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Winograd.
Here.
Councilor Zdanowitz. Is Mark there?
All right. Thank you, Mr. Davidoff. So we have two counselors on the line. This is now, we received a communication from Dr. Jason Wang addressing the council on Bike West Hartford issues. Pursuant to town council standing rules, the speaker may address the town council for up to 5 minutes. Okay, so come on up. That is automatic, and just state your name and address for the record.
Ready? PDF. Hi, my name is Jason Wang. I live at 194 4 Mile Road. I'm here representing the board of Bike West Hartford. We're here tonight to advocate for the implementation of quick builds to improve safety on our roads. In late 2022, next slide, please. Well, is the slideshow started? Okay. Are we in slideshow mode? Can we go into slideshow mode?
Dr. Wang, you said you were just going to tell me to advance the slide, so that's...
Oh, but can we, okay, if you don't want to do slideshow. It's okay.
What?
This is fine if it's, I don't want to use up our time on this.
Where's... I can't, oh, here, I got it.
All right,
Okay,
now
we will
next
start
slide.
over. Okay, and restart.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Jason Wang. I live at 194 4 Mile Road. I'm here representing the board of Bike West Hartford. We're here tonight to advocate for the implementation of quick builds to improve safety on our roads. Next slide, please. In late 2022, we decided collectively as a town that it's no longer acceptable to continue losing members of our community to car crashes. Our Vision Zero program is built on the radical idea that road deaths are not inevitable, they are preventable. Would you mind, next slide, advancing just a couple? Next slide, great. And yet, our roads have not noticeably transformed in most places. Engineering is one of the key tenets of a successful Vision Zero program, and we have not been able to quickly implement proven basic engineering interventions. Next slide. This is where Anne was killed. Next slide. This is where Carlos was killed. There's been very little significant changes since these tragedies occurred. Next slide. Here is Bike West Hartford's vision for 2025. Next slide. We strongly recommend that West Hartford proceed with quick build curb extensions immediately in a staged fashion, starting with what we call Priority A, which is school zones overlapping with the high injury network. This includes roads serving Charter Oak, Hall, Sedgwick, Duffy, Smith Stem, and Whiting Lane. It's approximately 36 intersections, which we believe can and should be done by the beginning of summer. Next is Priority B, which is, nope, we're not ready yet, sorry. Thank you. Next is Priority B, which is school zones not within the high injury network. We think that these can be done over the summer. After that is Priority C, which is the remainder of the high injury network. Bike West Hartford strongly supports the PBC's recommendations to significantly expand our raised crosswalk program. To stay within our time limit, I'm going to focus primarily on curb extensions tonight. I've personally visited Hoboken, New Jersey, and spoken with city staff. One key piece of advice they repeatedly gave me was to implement and iterate, targeting the highest risk and highest need areas. That's what we are advocating for here. Next slide. Now I'm going to show you a few examples of what we envision using one of the toughest scenarios, the Sedgwick-Westminster-LeMay crossing. LeMay to Sedgwick is the most typical crossing, and this is a type of easy intervention we recommend for most of the Priority A intersections. As you can see in its existing configuration, we have wide radius curbs, which encourage vehicles to drive quickly, do rolling stops, while dramatically increasing crossing distance for pedestrians. Would you mind clicking a few times to animate the slide? Thank you. That's how cars can currently take it. This is what we suggest. And this allows cars to see pedestrians as they enter the crosswalk more easily and take a less acute angle so that it slows cars down, both going straight and when turning, while increasing pedestrian visibility. And one more click, please. And you decrease the crossing distance from 38 feet to 20 feet. This intervention, just very simple curb extensions, really costs about $400 worth of flex posts. We're gonna, thanks. It encourages vehicles to slow down, take a broader turning angle, reduces the pedestrian crossing distance. We can do this for our children, for our community today. I brought one of my flex posts here. I've got 27 of them. This intervention is simple, inexpensive, and highly effective. Next slide, please. The Sedgwick Road crossing is extremely dangerous. We can use a similar technique on Sedgwick, but the road is so wide that we need a refuge island. Would you mind clicking again? Suddenly, our children and families only need to cross 12 feet, followed by a break, followed by another 12 feet, instead of 48 feet all at once. Again, we slow traffic while reducing pedestrian crossing distances. Next slide, please. Westminster is extremely dangerous, and it also warrants a refuge island. We can get our crossing distance from 75 feet down to about 13.5 feet each. Would you mind clicking one more time? This is inexpensive. This is doable immediately. And would you mind clicking one more? And one more click. Here's a mock-up of the whole intersection. This would cost a few $1,000s in materials. In fact, we have the materials already. We can do this intersection for free as a proof of concept. If the town isn't going to do it, please let citizens do it. We can do it tonight. How can we continue? Thanks.
Dr. Wayne, the 5 minutes, so if you could just wind up in the
All
next
right.
minute or two, please.
How can we continue to leave our children and our neighbors in harm's way? Okay, we'll advance to the last few very quickly. Next. Examples, next. Hartford, next. Hartford, next. Hoboken, next. Bozeman, Montana, next. And next. Okay, we will just skip this one. You can go next. Here are a few of the priority intersections. Again, we call on our town leaders to get quick build curb extensions onto the ground in priority locations by summer. These curb extensions can be built with very inexpensive flex posts. They're proven, they're durable, and these are some of the intersections that we propose immediate intervention on. One more, please. Again, we want to emphasize our support for raised crosswalks as well as all other traffic calming interventions that can reliably slow traffic and increase safety. And one more, please. In summary, Bike West Hartford is advocating that West Hartford get quick builds into the ground immediately. Priority A by summer, implement and iterate. We know the problem areas, we know the solutions, we have the money. The cost of doing nothing is far greater than the cost of intervention. One more click, please. The time for action and implementation is now.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you, Dr. Wang. This is, we receive comment. We don't have an interactive. The town manager actually has an overall, part of his town manager's report because of work being done in committee, not only the Vision Zero Advisory Committee that met today, but community planning on the town's plan for all, most of this. I just do want to clarify one thing. The $3.1 million has not been received. It's a federal grant, and we are waiting on that. And if we do work, instead we lose the whole grant. So that is a problem and a challenge for us. But just to clarify, we don't go back and forth. But we are starting our town council meeting, and we will call that to order. But I want to thank you all very much for coming and your voices and your all of your advocacy and our extremely important, a priority for us. We don't disagree with anything you said. All right, the town council meeting is called to order, and we will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, Mr. Davidoff.
Good evening, Madam Mayor. Counselor Blanks.
Present.
Mayor Cantor.
Here.
Counselor Cortez.
Here.
Counselor Fay. Counselor McGinnis.
Present.
Counselor Poland.
Here.
Counselor Walters.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Winograd.
Present.
Counselor Zdanowitz. Is he here or not here?
Thank you. He just said here.
Yep.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Davidoff. Okay, public forum. Can you look to see if there's anybody signed up to speak to anything on the agenda? Thank you. I don't know if people signed, thought this was a sign-in. This is for comment for items on the agenda that are not subject to a public hearing. First person I have is Caitlin Brokoff. Okay. Next is Phoebe Law. Next is AP Obeliniki. No? Anybody in the audience that wants to speak to something on the agenda? Okay, so we will go to number 4, Mr. Winograd.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Without objection, I move that items 5A through 5E and 10A be placed on the consent calendar.
Is there any objection? There, hearing no objection, the items are placed on consent. Mr. Winograd?
I move adoption of the consent calendar.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, letter 7, actually, number 7A, Mr. Winograd.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Without objection, I move that we receive an ordinance concerning amusement devices and set for public hearing on May 13th, 2025 at 7:15 p.m.
Is there any objection? There being no objection, the motion is adopted. Letter B, Mr. Winograd.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I move to adopt a resolution adopting the modified depreciation schedule for motor vehicles.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Mr. Ledwith, could you?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The following resolution would implement the modified depreciation schedule for motor vehicles as authorized under Public Act 2025-2. This adjustment is critical to ensuring the financial stability of our town in light of recent legislative changes impacting how motor vehicles are assessed for taxation. As you know, as we've discussed in committee, Public Act 22-118 and the June Special Session Public Act 24-1 required a fundamental shift in how municipalities assess motor vehicles. Rather than relying on J.D. Power valuation guides, assessments are now based on manufacturer-suggested retail price guidelines with a statutory mandated depreciation schedule that does not account for a vehicle's condition, mileage, salvage, or rebuilt status. As we know, this change had a significant impact on West Hartford as well as cities and towns across the state, not going through revaluation. The 2024 grand list for motor vehicles for West Hartford saw a $50 million decrease in assessment value compared to the prior year. And this drop directly translates to reduced tax revenues, which could impact our ability to maintain the high-quality services our residents deserve and expect. Recognizing the challenges this posed for municipalities, the legislature passed Public Act 2025-2, which provides towns with the option to modify the depreciation schedule, specifically increasing the taxable portion of a vehicle MSRP depreciation schedule by 5 percentage points. By adopting this adjustment, we can help offset the dramatic decline in motor vehicle tax revenues and maintain fiscal stability without shifting additional burden onto property owners. We feel it is in the best interest of the town of West Hartford to take advantage of this opportunity, and adopting this modified depreciation schedule will help preserve our revenue base, support essential services, and ensure a more equitable approach to taxation under the new assessment method. As you recall, our motor vehicle grand list, as I said earlier, had decreased by $50 million. And by adopting this new depreciation, adding the 5 percentage points to the depreciation schedule, will bring that $50 million in grand list loss back onto our grand list for the October 2024 grand list. So I will pause there, and through you, Madam Mayor, happy to answer any specific questions that the council had.
Thank you, Mr. Ledwith. I think this was discussed in finance. Mr. Winograd?
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. I don't have any questions, but I do want to thank everyone who was involved in getting this done, including support the legislature. This was in the governor, and we did discuss this, and certainly as we work through the budget process, an extra $50 million in our grand list will be helpful. So thank you for bringing this to us, and I certainly recommend passage.
Thank you, Mr. Winograd. Are there any other comments or questions? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Letter C, Mr. Winograd.
No, wait. I'm opposed. Mary's opposed.
Okay, thank you.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
due to the fact that we have councilors participating remotely, making this a hybrid meeting,
A roll-
for any vote that's not unanimous, we do require a roll call vote.
Thank you, Mr. Dodge. I was going to do that after I heard the no. Okay. Mr. Davidoff, roll call.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Counselor Blanks,
Yes.
Mayor Cantor,
Yes.
Counselor Cortez,
Yes.
Counselor Fay,
No more 10%, no.
Counselor McGinnis,
Yes.
Counselor Poland,
Yes.
Counselor Walters,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Winograd,
Yes.
Counselor Zdanowitz, Counselor Zdanowitz,
Mark, can you hear?
Can you hear me?
Now I can. Go ahead.
In and out, I'm mute and off mute, but yes.
Thank you. All right.
the motion carries 8-1.
Thank you, Mr. Davidoff. All right, now we are going to letter C. Mr. Winograd.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I move to adopt a resolution accepting a bequest from the Arthur R. Carling Revocable Trust to support the fire department.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Mr. Ledwith.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And the town is very pleased to be the beneficiary of a $500,000 donation from the Arthur R. Carling Trust, which designated within that trust agreement would be donated to the town for the purchase, and we would use that $500,000 donation for the purchase of one or more emergency vehicles for the fire department. Mr. Carling lived in West Hartford most of his life and passed away back in 2003. Mr. Carling was a veteran of World War II and was a past president of the Rotary. We are incredibly grateful to Mr. Carling and his family for this generous donation. So this resolution will allow the town to work with the trust to accept the funds, and then we would be back before the council with a resolution to appropriate those funds towards the purchase of a fire department vehicle, at which time we would love to have the opportunity to honor Mr. Carling's family for this generous donation.
Thank you, Mr. Ledwith. This is really a remarkable a generosity and thoughtfulness from a remarkable man that served our country and served our community. I don't know if Ms. Blanks would like to comment on from public safety.
Of course I would, because this is really a testament of the power of residents in the community who really express their love and devotion, and this is a prime example. Here, just looking at this family being immigrants, especially during the climate that we're all in, just goes to show you the power of living in a community that they have a love for, and especially recognizing those who serve in public safety. The fact that it's been said many times where those who serve in either fire or police that are running towards danger, rescuing others when we're trying to get out, and they're running towards it, and it's their job, many of them, it's their passion to rescue people and to get them out of harm's way. So I just have nothing but the utmost praise for this family and the values that this family has handed down year after year, where they think enough of the town and this particular service in our department to leave this money for God knows the equipment and supplies that our men and women so desperately need, especially at this time when our funds are drying up, we're not sure if we're getting anything, and these are the families and friends and community that many times we say we don't know how we're going to do it, but somehow it always comes through in the time that we most need it. So I absolutely will support this, and I'm so thankful to this family. And I know that there's so many other families out there, and this only sets the example for what's to come. So I yield back.
Thank you so much, Ms. Blanks, for saying it so well and completely. And so it's just, you said it so well. Are there any further comments, questions? All right. All those in favor? Aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. Letter D, Mr. Winograd.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Move to adopt a resolution accepting a grant from Youth Recovery Connecticut to support youth prevention services.
Second?
Motion's been made and seconded. Mr. Ledwith?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And this resolution directs the town to accept a $10,000 grant from the Youth Recovery Connecticut and Wheeler Clinic to support youth prevention services. These funds would be used to start recovery focus groups for teens, as well as social substance-free activities for teens as well. I do want to thank our Assistant Director, Liz Bazinski, and her team for their continued efforts in securing this grant, as well as many others they work on throughout the year. Also want to just take a moment to thank Liz and her team of social workers as well. This is National Social Worker Month, and this team works tirelessly throughout the year to provide services to our residents who are in most need. So a big shout out to what they do every day, all year long, to support our community. So through you, Madam Mayor, happy to answer any questions of you and the council on this particular grant.
Thank you, Mr. Ledwith, and thank you to all the social workers that make a tremendous difference in people's lives when they are most needed, and to Liz and her team. So we really appreciate all you do. Any comments and questions? We do have one person that's recusing themselves. Two? Oh, okay. No, for E. That's what I was wondering. Okay. Okay, I was wondering, I thought it was something I didn't know about. Okay, we have no recusals. Sorry, that's the next one. Okay. Are there any further comments or? Okay. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Letter E, Ms. Renegade.
Do you want to say anything? So I believe the deputy mayor is recusing himself from this
Okay.
resolution. And also Councilor Cortez, do they need to, Mr. Corporation Counsel, do they need to say anything or step out of the room or anything like that?
No, Madam Councilwoman, or Madam Deputy Mayor for the moment. Madam Mayor, no, they are not required. They can express that they are going to recuse themselves and then simply abstain from the vote.
Thank you. I move to adopt a resolution authorizing the execution of permanent easements to support the development project at 10 to 50 Starkle Road. Without objection, motion to refer to Town Plan and Zoning Commission for its required review.
Is there any objection? Okay, there being no objection, the motion is adopted. Okay, thank you very much. I know we are, well, we're at town manager's report now. Mr. Ledwith, so if you could proceed with that.
Sure, thank you. I'll begin the town manager's report with a quick summary of some upcoming council business and meetings. We do have a pretty busy schedule for the next couple of weeks, so we will have a public hearing on the fiscal year 26 budget on Tuesday, April 1st at 2 p.m. That's our daytime public hearing. We have a Public Safety Committee budget workshop on Thursday, April 3rd at 8 a.m. That is a virtual meeting. And that evening, we have a Public Works Facilities and Sustainability Committee budget workshop, Thursday, April 3rd at 6 p.m. That's virtual as well, followed by a Finance and Administration Committee budget workshop on Monday, April 7th at 6 p.m. That's virtual. And then in person, we have a Town Council public hearing on the budget Tuesday, April 8th at 6 p.m., followed by a public hearing on the Special Services District budget, that's at 6:30 p.m., followed by a public hearing, ordinance authorizing the use of automated traffic enforcement safety devices on Tuesday, April 8th at 7 p.m. here in the council chambers, followed by the town council meeting at 7:30 p.m. here in the council chambers. So on to staff reports, wanted to touch base on, as you recall, last month in February at our last Community Planning and Economic Development Committee meeting, we presented our Vision Zero Action Plan, annual report, which identified the projects that we had worked on during the 2024 year. And following that meeting, I think even in that meeting, we had mentioned to the committee that our team would be working on a supplement to the annual report, which would include a number of quick builds projects similar to the ones that were identified by Dr. Wang in his public comment session before the meeting started. So we have finalized a draft of that supplement. We shared a draft of that with our town council earlier today. We met before the council meeting this evening with our Vision Zero subcommittee to work through that supplement report as well. And we've identified a number of quick build improvements around town. So we have about 25 curb extensions that we have identified to work on as we move quickly into the construction season. We've identified quick build hardened center lines, quick build median island, quick build mini roundabouts, and quick build neighborhood traffic circles. In total, I believe there are about 25 projects that we will hit the ground running with over the next few weeks. We are in the process now of purchasing the materials that we will need to move those projects forward. We have some in-house right now, and we're hiring the rest that we will need to do this over the next couple of months. And hopefully we'll get as many done as quickly as possible, and then add on to that as we're moving through the year. On top of the projects that we will be working on through Vision Zero, which would be continuing to roll out our raised crosswalks townwide, our rapid flashing beacon lights that we're doing townwide, as well as a host of a large number of projects that we look to accomplish this year. We do, as the mayor mentioned, we did receive a $3.1 million matching grant, Safe Streets for All grant from the federal government. And we have not heard much from the Federal Highway Administration over the last several weeks, so we're hopeful that we will receive those funds. But again, it's been a little quiet from that perspective. But that will not prevent us from moving forward with these projects, especially the quick builds. We have funding, as you know, in our CIP to put towards all of these projects. Some of the bigger ones that we have identified through the state Safe Streets for All grant at our next council meeting, as we discussed just a moment ago, we will have a public hearing on our speed enforcement camera ordinance. We would look to roll that out as quickly as we can this year. There's a lot more work that needs to go into that. But we will use funds received through that program if we're not able to receive that Safe Streets for All grant. We will use funds through that speed enforcement program, enforcement piece of that program to fund all future Vision Zero projects. So, which includes a red light safety camera program as well that was included in that $3.1 million grant. So, economics, we will work very hard to ensure that we have the funds necessary to cover all of these projects and not get in the way of making our streets safer. So, and that's one way we will do that. So, so we will, in terms of next steps, we will put this supplement on our next Community Planning and Economic Development Committee meeting on April 16th. Assuming we are, and certainly we can add to that list or take away and add to that list as the council feels necessary. And then we would roll out the formal supplement program officially right after that meeting. But that is not stopping us from purchasing what we need to purchase. So we have the funds in our CIP to do it, and we will be doing that as we move through that next CPED meeting. So I will pause there and happy to answer any questions that the council had.
I do want to just ask that once it goes through community planning and we have that list, will be on the Vision Zero website, and the supplemental projects, will that also be able to be accessed on the Vision Zero website?
It will. And in fact, we have a map that we've got a lot of maps, as you know. And we do have a map that will highlight these quick build projects on there. And then as we do with all of our projects, like we did last year, anytime something's completed, it will be identified on the map for the public to see. We are working at our committee meeting earlier this evening. We are working more on branding, what we're doing. You all have copies of our Vision Zero Safe Driver Pledge Magnet for cars. But as we're working on some of these projects and we're completing them as we move into the spring and the summer, we would like to add a ribbon cutting ceremony to some of the bigger ones. Like, I know we were moving pretty quickly last year when we were doing some of the raised crosswalks as we were finishing up the year, but having a neighborhood ribbon cutting ceremony for those types of events as we complete them, I think will go a long way in terms of, continuing to brand Vision Zero and getting it out there. In our meeting tonight as well, we have, we're working on signs to add to our signs that we're putting up throughout town, where it would be our Vision Zero logo attached to the bottom. For example, a rapid flashing beacon light, it would say, funded through our West Hartford Vision Zero program. So lots of opportunities to continue, as I said, building on that brand as we move into the next several weeks.
Just one further point on the 3.1 million that frustratingly we have not was frozen and then went through the courts, and then they were said that they couldn't freeze those funds, and we did receive something that they were going to be released. But if we spend any of that money, then the whole grant could be negated. Correct? Is that the? I mean, that was
correct. So when I
earmarked for
said that
grant.
we would not, we'd be using. So in the event that we don't receive that grant, then we would be using. We'll be using enforcement funds anyways to fund Vision Zero as we move forward, but we'd have access to that immediately. We should know, I would think, within the next month or two, whether this grant's going to be a reality or not. We're hopeful that it will be, but in the event we receive official word that it would not be, we would, to your point, we would not utilize funds in the meantime. It would be after we know that we're not receiving that grant.
Okay, and so the timetable, as we've discussed, some depends on when materials come in. We have some materials, so people are going to start seeing things in the next 2-3 weeks as the weather is warming up and our staff is fully engaged and across town.
Yeah, we will hit the ground as soon as we possibly can.
Okay, awesome. And I know it's going through community planning. I don't know if Ms. McGinnis wants to share anything at all, but
I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you to our town manager and to town staff. I know how hard they've been working on this, and I know how personal Rick takes all this. We all take it personally. And, you know, I know moving forward, we'll start seeing a lot of changes, and hopefully that the federal government will release those funds sooner rather than later.
thank you, Ms. McGinnis. Are there any other comments or questions? So this is a real priority as we, I don't know, you know, there were a lot of people in the audience here. I would hope that everybody that is listening or, you know, or is a part of either any community that has a vested interest, that please sign the pledge, please look at the paper, sign the pledge, and really think about when you get behind a wheel of a car, how many vulnerable users there are on the road. And many of us, all of us, drive too fast and at times. And so, and many of the people in this room also drive too fast. It is something that, but you know, there are vulnerable users that use our roads every day, and we all need to be reminded to slow down. I also will say I do hope that people come to also April 8th when we have this public hearing, so and make their voices heard as well on speed cameras, because as our police say, they are the biggest amplifier of their work, enforcement work that is available. So. Oh, sure. Ms. McGinnis has a question.
Through you, Madam Mayor. On the speed enforcement cameras, there's an approval process by the state and then the federal government on that?
So yes, through you, Madam Mayor, to Councilor McGinnis's question. So there's a lot more work that's entailed with our speed enforcement camera program. So we will have a public hearing on the ordinance on April 8th. Assuming everything goes well, which we know it will, we're encouraged that it will be. We would, from there, we are working on we have to create a speed enforcement camera plan, and we are in the process of hiring a consultant right now. We should have one on board within the next 2 weeks to assist with the drafting of that plan. We are already accumulating data from around town in terms of where we would like to place our cameras. But once we have that plan finalized, we have to bring that plan, as part of that plan process, we have to have 2 public meetings, seek public input with that plan, which would happen over the summer. And then we would bring that plan to the council to formally adopt, and you have to do that by resolution at our first meeting in September. And from there, we would submit the plan first to Connecticut Department of Transportation. And once we receive approval from the state, then we would send it to the Federal Highway Administration for approval. Both agencies have assured us that that turnaround would be rather quick, assuming, and that's why we're going to utilize the services of a consultant. We want to make sure our plan is sound when it gets there, so there's no back and forth like sometimes there can be. So assuming they can get back to us within a week or 2, and it's a sound plan, then it goes to Federal Highway Administration for their approval. They've assured us as well, 1 to 2 week turnaround time, and then we can start the rollout of that program from there.
Thank you. I just thought it was important that the public know the timeline, that it's not something we can just do after we vote on it. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, that was a very important, it's a long timeline and frustrating for, I think, a lot of us that want to put these up right away. But you know what? There was a process. So, okay.
I'm sorry, I have some more. Just
Go.
a couple-
Oh, sorry, Mr. Ledwith. Sorry.
Everyone sees our Payne's waste management trucks around town, and they're still collecting our trash, but we are with a new vendor. So Payne's Recycling and Rubbish Removal has merged with All American Waste, LLC, effective December 9th, 2024. Like Payne's, All American Waste is a family-owned business that has serviced many municipalities in Connecticut for decades. In terms of operation, much will stay the same services, same trucks, same routes, and same drivers. There is one change, however, a new customer service number, which is 860-289-7850, found on our website too, so no one's writing that number down. The greening one will now be All American Waste and not Payne's. So, and if folks call the old Payne's number, it will roll over to the new number. Community conversations on the fiscal year 26 budget will continue. We have two scheduled for Monday, March 31st. The first one will be held at the Faxon Branch Library at 8:45 a.m., and the second one will be at 6 p.m. at the Noah Webster Library. Public officials will respond to questions, including Mayor Cantor and Deputy Mayor Winograd, Board of Education Chair Dr. Lorna Thomas Farquharson, and Vice Chair Shannon Marimon. And then the superintendent and myself will be present as well. And we will do a short overview of the budget challenges that we're facing, and then turn it over to questions and answers from our visitors. So, and the rest of the town manager's report can be found online, Madam Mayor, but happy to answer any questions that you or the council had on
Thank
this
you.
or anything else happening in town.
Thank you, Mr. Ledwith. No, I don't. Are there questions? Questions on the phone? Okay. I don't hear any. All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Ledwith. And we will go to Corporation Counsel, Mr. Dodge, Attorney Dodge.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I have no formal report this evening. However, as indicated on the agenda, we will require an executive session to discuss strategy and negotiations with respect to pending litigation. For those in the audience who may care to stay, I do anticipate that we will hopefully be taking action on an item after we return from the executive session.
Thank you, Mr. Dodge. Any questions for Attorney Dodge? Okay, hearing none, we will go to announcements. Niche ranks West Hartford #1 in Connecticut for the 8th straight year, which is really, really remarkable. So West Hartford was ranked #1 to live in Connecticut, set number 78 in America, #1 best suburbs for young professionals in Connecticut, and number 130 in America, #1 best suburbs to live in Connecticut, and number 148 in America. Niche analyzes 230 cities and more than 18,000 places to compile this year's ranking. Community attributes considered in developing the list includes housing, public schools, crime and safety, nightlife, good for families, and diversity. Conard High School boys hockey wins state championship, which is really, really amazing. CIA Division III state championship 2 years in a row with a 4-1 win over Joel Barlow on Saturday, March 22nd. It was really a wonderful, wonderful achievement. Congratulations. Northwest Catholic girls basketball wins state championship. Also, I think that was their second championship. But congratulations to the girls basketball team with their win over Bethel High School on March 15th, 2025 in the CIAA Class L state championship on Mohegan Sun Arena. I have been to see a hall, I think was there a number of years ago. It's incredibly exciting. So congratulations to the Northwest Catholic girls team. Teresa Hopkins Staton received Visionary Leader Award by Big Brothers Big Sisters of Connecticut. Teresa is President, Eversource Energy Foundation, and Vice President, Corporate Citizenship and Equity at its Empowering Potential Gala on Saturday, February 22nd, 2025. Congratulations, Teresa. That was really a wonderful recognition for her. Fundraising is underway for the Juneteenth celebration. It is on a crowdsourcing site called Patronicity. This year's Juneteenth community celebration promises to be unforgettable as we honor the legacy of freedom, resilience, and achievement in African American history. The event is free and held at Town Hall Lot, June 14th, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. We have registration now open for West Hartford's annual Fun Run. This is part of Celebrate and starts a great weekend. There's ages 3 to 10 for the fun run, and there's a 5K and the 5K Youth Club run also. The race is held on Sunday, June 8th. A portion of the proceeds are donated to Leisure Services Scholarship Fund and the Town That Cares. Help maintain our dog park. Just join fellow volunteers on Saturday, March 29th and Sunday, March 30th, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. to spread mulch, keep the dog park looking great. West Hartford Dog Park is located at 100 Mayflower Street. Bring your tools, wheelbarrows, shovels, rakes, large buckets, garden gloves, and boots. Thank you for your support. Playhouse on Park to host the 9th Annual Jewish Playwriting Contest on March 31st. At 7 p.m. The audience will vote on a play that they would like to see in the finals in New York after the readers panel has chosen their top 3 plays. To learn more about the playwrights, the plays, and the Jewish Playwriting Contest, visit jewishplaysproject.org. There's a link on our website, or go to the Playhouse on Park. Sedgwick Middle School presents Mean Girls Junior musical, April 4th through 6th. This is follows the life of 16-year-old Caddy Heron after moving from her home in the African savannah to suburban Illinois. The play centers on the message about staying true to yourself and not succumbing to peer pressure. Performances are at 7 p.m. on April 4th and 5th, and April 6th at 1 p.m. And you can visit Sedgwick for the tickets. Teen Wellness Fair and Student Art Show on April 5th will take place 1 through 4 at Town Hall. This joyful event features free food, music, activities, student art show, and resources to promote health, wellness, and belonging. Parents and caregivers are also welcome, and there is also a link on our website. And Gear Up Youth Sports will take place March 31st through April 4th and 6th. This is a great exchange. Bring your sports equipment to any drop-off location between these dates and gear up for other youth sports. April 6th will be at the Town Hall Auditorium from 12 to 3. Pick up equipment free of charge. Donations are also accepted on the day of the event. Please do not bring helmets, clothing, uniforms, or broken or damaged items. Drop-off locations include The Bridge, 100 Shield Street, West Hartford Town Hall Lobby, 50 South Main, and Elmwood Community Center, 1106 New Britain Avenue. It's a great way to do some spring cleaning and have your old sports equipment live on forever. So, are there any other announcements? Mr. Cortez.
So this is my bi-weekly reminder that Food Insecurities does not take a break. This is Food Insecurities is an all-year-round thing, and West Hartford United Methodist Church is accepting donations out in the front of the church entrance for non-perishable food items, also feminine hygiene products, diapers, and things of that nature, and all of that comes back to the Town That Cares, our food pantry in West Hartford. So again, we make it kind of easy drop-off location, you know, that you can do 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Thank you, Mr. Cortez, and this is becoming increasingly important. I was just listening to NPR about the cuts to food share and Feeding America, so this is going to be a real challenge for many families. So thank you. Any other announcements? Okay, then Mr. Winograd.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Without objection, I move that we enter into executive session to discuss strategy and negotiations with respect to pending litigation to wit colleague Heisch versus Town of West Hartford at al. Docket number HHD CV 23-6171652S.
Is there any objection? There being no objection, we will enter executive session. I invite Corporation Counsel, Attorney Andrew Glass from the firm of Karsten and Talberg, and the town manager to join us. We want to bring our town councilors in there, so do they? We'll have to call them on our cell phone. Okay. All right, so Mary and Mark, I'm sorry?
I'll be live.
Are you here?
Oh, okay. See ya. Bye. And Mary will call you. Okay, Mary will call you on the cell. Thanks. Okay.
What's that? Oh.
Okay. Attorney Dodge. Sorry.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Madam Mayor, before you is a resolution authorizing my office to settle a personal injury case pending in the Superior Court against the town, to wit, Quiche v. the Town of West Hartford et al., in the amount of $110,000, which is the matter that we just discussed in executive session. Madam Mayor, this case arises from a motor vehicle accident that occurred in 2022 at the intersection of Troutbrook and Boulevard between a police vehicle responding to an emergency with lights and sirens on and another vehicle that was operated by the plaintiff. Madam Mayor, out of respect for the settlement process, I will not discuss further details except to say that this in no way represents an admission of fault or liability by the town. Madam Mayor, for the reasons that I articulated to the Town Council in executive session, I urge adoption.
Thank you, Mr. Dodge. Are there any, and Mary's on the phone still, Mark is now in person. Do we have to do a roll call at all, a change? No, all good? All right. Would you want to make the motion?
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. I move to adopt the resolution authorizing the Corporation Council to settle pending litigation, specifically Kali Kaish versus Town of West Hartford et al.
Second?
Motion's been made and seconded. Is there any questions or comments? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Motion carries and it is adopted. All right, so without objection, I make a motion to adjourn. Any objection? Hearing no objection, we are now adjourned. Good night.